I apologize in advance if this video seems a little fragmentary. I hold on, let me show you. So like I'm in OBS right now. I this is Debian. I only recently started using this. I had switched to Arch Linux for a while there, but even though I managed to get the system set up pretty well and customize a lot of things and got it to a functional state where I liked it, I screwed up trying to set up the boot settings for Arch Linux, and I was trying to make it auto install the microcode, which how do I put this? Basically, if I had kept using it the way that I was using it, I probably wouldn't have been able to update my processor's firmware, which is really bad if they have to add microcode. And Arch does not make anything easy. You have to have a pretty good understanding of Linux systems to use it. And to be honest, as much as I know about Linux and programming in general, uh, I do not advise anybody use Arch unless they really know what they're doing, or they really want to know Linux from like almost from bare metal. Anyway, the point is, I had to switch operating systems like twice because I was using Linux Mint and I had serious problems with operation. But that's because they changed something in the distro that made it much more sluggish and take up a lot more RAM than it used to. And then I switched to Arch, which I thought I could customize better until the microcode the setup that I had basically broke. I broke the bootloader and I had to reinstall everything. I said screw it, and I moved to Debian, which is this. And even though there have been some unusual settings I've had to change, it's been pretty nice. I'd say it's a leg up from Ubuntu, uh, but I just thought I'd let people know why it's been a while that I haven't made a video or anything, or yeah. It's not really easy for me to make videos these days, and I promised I would make, or rather, I promised myself that I'd make at least a couple more before things got any crazier in my life. Just so people know, I don't make much money doing this or really anything right now. I'm functionally unemployed because, I don't know if people have really paid attention to the job market these days, but it is astoundingly hard to get a job these days. Um, but I'm not bringing much in, and I guess I'm also kind of asking for help, but that's really not the point of this video. The real point of this video is just to let people know that I'm going to try and work on a few last minute things while I still have time. But the way things are going, they are right now, I'm very likely going to lose power between now and the end of the month, and probably very soon. Um, so I kind of want to show what I managed to get done in all that time, or at least give you an idea of some things I was trying to accomplish. Go over a few projects I had made, and hopefully people will enjoy that. Okay, CMakeEasy2. I started work on this, but man, I gotta be honest when I say I really didn't get far because a large part of developing a project like this is in the graphical interface, the tools, the menus, yada yada yada. I could easily move a lot of the things that existed in CMakeEasy1 into this in terms of functionality because it would be almost functionally the same. And I just wanted to create a nice GUI, a graphic interface, so people could use it like any other program. Like, just point and click and it adds the option you want, or you could type it in or whatever. Um, but it didn't really get off the ground because I ended up pouring more energy into the original CMakeEasy, which, right here. Um, as of right now, it's on branch 1.2 point something. I don't know when it'll officially become a new version of the official CMakeEasy into 1.2. Uh, but it's relatively stable if you want to chance it. I think as far as I can tell, it's pretty stable. But I just want to let people know that it's out there. This that you're seeing right here is the branch that I'm into, the 1.2. It's got a few features and a few improvements that the master branch just doesn't have. Dawnlight. This never got off the ground. I don't know if I'll ever finish this, but when I said I was working on multiple things, I wasn't kidding. Dawnlight was just, I don't know, as in terms of names, I just wanted something that sounded kind of inspirational, nice, kind of had like sort of a sunrise aesthetic to it, and I was maybe gonna theme the design around that. I wanted to create something sort of like Rhythm Box, where just like an open source audio player can just kind of load in your music files or whatever, and you could just use it that way. I wanted to be like nearly infinitely customizable because not a lot of apps do that. And I feel like if there's one thing that people would really want to customize on a deep level, it'd be like a music player or something like that. Um, but same problem with CMake Easy 2, where it's like uh, the concept and the programming wouldn't necessarily be that hard, but the execution of making it look really nice and compartmentalized and functional is miles away from anywhere being done. Designing is hard, so I never really planned to show this one off so blatantly because I didn't know if I wanted what I wanted to do with the source code of this, but let me make sure it's configured. Yeah. Um, but anyway, I was kicking around ideas for making an RPG completely from scratch just with SFML, and I got pretty far. Just to show you basically what it would have looked like. Obviously, this is a really stripped down version. It's like you've got functional objects and stuff. You can move around, you can change directions, you can even interact with your environment to an extent. But I didn't get as far as I wanted to because I kept getting held up by things I wouldn't have considered under normal circumstances, like animation is hard. And animation is additionally hard when you have to consider the animations of nearly every in-game object. But I did manage to get some good collision detection in, all that stuff. You see, like, if you ever want a good idea of what it's like to actually program something from scratch, I wrote every single one of the instances of these debug statements. These kept me sane while I was trying to trying to figure out every single aspect of this thing, which, you know, everything built in here is using like old-fashioned pointers, not like safe pointers or anything. I started a version with that, but at the time I was really struggling to get SFML to register all my smart pointers, and some of them weren't deallocating correctly. So a lot of these are raw pointers, but I trust this program to run them just fine because, I mean, if you understand pointers well enough, it's not that big of a deal. The entire concept for the project was inspired by a programmer named Suraj Sharma. He did a lot of SFML projects a long time ago, and you can kind of see the influence of his tutorial on this project, but I changed a lot of internal things to make it distinctly different. But anyway, what it would have been was my first real foray into making indie games completely from scratch, which, I mean, it would basically be like making a tiny game engine, like making a sort of deployed game engine on its own right. And it would have, I mean, it wouldn't be able to make a game, but it would functionally be a game in its own engine. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's really what a game from scratch is. You're basically writing a sort of an engine you're editing as you're working on it. So I had a lot of ambitions for this project, but with the struggles I had with the animation systems and the things I didn't see in the process of making the project, it just set me back so much. Um, I think I basically stopped working on this last month, and maybe if things aren't too bad, I'll try and resume work on it because I wanted it to be, I don't know. I was going to try and do something sort of extravagant like procedurally generated world building sort of stuff because I'm really fascinated by that concept. And the reason I'm sharing that here is because I feel like, well, I would love to show people the source code of this thing if I ever finish this, but I gotta be honest when I say I just don't see that happening. So OBS is starting to act up as I'm recording, so I'm gonna wrap this up by saying there's definitely even more projects than what I just showed here. I was trying out too many things at once, and I think it backfired. But um, I hate to ask, but if anybody can donate anything, contribute to what I'm doing, I do have a Ko-fi. I've had it for a while, but I don't see much action on it because often I forget to update it. But I am always working on stuff, and I think people would be at least marginally interested in what I have to put out. And honestly, my ultimate goal is if I made enough, I would pretty much do all this for free. I mean, well, I guess it wouldn't be free, it'd be donation driven, but that's my ultimate goal, is to just put stuff out that people like and not worry about it. I'm not trying to make anything off of that explicitly. But if you like what I have, please consider donating. We're in a pretty rough spot, so I just appreciate it. Oh, thanks for watching if you've gotten this far. These videos get a bit rambly and I don't script them, so thanks.